the raw approach. I have y'all know who he is. That's Antonio Bratcher. I have to bring him back every now and then,
They don't
so
know
y'all
me,
don't
man.
forget about who he is. For everybody out there, don't get alarmed because you see all this blue and white. I'm just getting ready to celebrate Founders Day. You know what I'm saying? January 9th, 1914.
Oh,
We about to make him do what he do. He's so stupid.
whole lot of
Good
gang.
morning to the bros. And I just want to say what's up to the almighty ass kicking the Alpha Row out of Austin Peay State University. And what's up to, I'm a charter member, Lambda Alpha Sigma, here in Clarksville. We're up there in Clarksville, Tennessee. So we're going to represent and do the thing. If y'all know, brothers have been representing all week. That's how we do. It's like a birthday. It's what we do. But nevertheless, we're going to get on into the show. Phi Beta Sigma representing in the house. If I had to do it by myself, look who back there. Look who back there, y'all. Look who back there. Wretched like, man.
I have a disclaimer. I do not support or endorse gang activity. I just want to say that I'm not affiliated.
Well,
Go
that's
ahead.
good. I'm glad that you don't support gang activity. We're not a gang. That's what's up,
What's
man.
up?
Hey, man, Happy New Year to you, dog.
Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year, man. 2025, we alive. Let's go.
Hey, we're going to thrive. We're alive. And we're going to keep getting fit in 2025, man. We can't stop there.
Right,
So,
right.
hey, man, I'm going to ask you what you got for us to start us off.
Man,
I
you
know,
know,
I know, I know you got some type of story or something that done happened.
I swear I swear I don't at the moment, man. You always catch me off the cuff right now, so I don't got nothing live yet, man. But I'm ready to, man. You throw me an alley oop, I'm gonna catch it though. I'm gonna catch it.
That's what's up. I know last time you were supposed to be on, we were
Why
talking about
why why you
pivoting.
why you throwing it out there like that? Like I stood okay. Last time you supposed to be on. Okay. I
I'm just saying we were talking about pivoting, and we had to pivot
Yep, we did.
because you had stuff going on at the workplace and stuff. So
Yep,
it ain't a
yep.
bad thing. I mean, it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do.
All right.
So you ain't got nothing for the folks. We just want to dive on in and make it do what it do.
Let's dive right in. Let's dive right in. Like Trey
Okay,
Songz,
well,
dive
I
in it.
I, I want to do something a little bit different today.
Okay. I'm up
I
for it.
want to throw out some quotes. You can throw out some quotes, and we're going to see how these quotes uh, can help somebody in dealing with leadership or finding some type of different perspective on a situation. Okay,
Okay.
you
Okay.
want me to go first?
Yeah, of course I want you to go first.
All right, this is one that I like. One of my favorite coaches, Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy Johnson was talking to Michael Vick on their sports show that day when he got that coaching job at Norfolk State. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so what he stated was his little bit of advice to Michael Vick was, but it was pretty. It went on, but I'm gonna get the actual advice. It went on to talk about uh, him being the head coach, and that's been the head coach. Hey, you people respect you because of your title.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, do you offer the opportunity for them to respect you, no matter what it is? So what he said, what he found success was, no matter what he done, he made sure he talked to everyone that even went from the assistant coaches. He made sure he communicated with even the cafeteria staff, the people that cleaned the facilities. He made sure there was a connection with everybody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So this is his quote. Tell me your thought about this. Ready?
Okay.
Have some interaction because no one likes to be ignored,
Okay.
but especially no one wants to be ignored by the leader.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on that? You want me to say it
So
again? Oh,
no,
you
no,
good?
man, come
Okay.
on, man. I listen. I listen. Yeah. I honestly, not only do I understand it, I agree with it, and honestly, it was I think one of the times that we talked on here, we talked about man, I can't remember what exactly we were talking about, but it's almost about your best ability sometimes is availability and how being seen and present
Yes.
and checking on people and then it goes line in line with that. And that's, man, that is especially, I know you said from a coaching perspective, for real, that
Yeah.
is super 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 important, man. You wouldn't have you'll be shocked at how many times, and I feel like I'm a super hands-on leader, right? But like, and I had this conversation even going back to when me and you was in the same realm, that, man, that even though I was a super hands-on leader, you remember the people still, they wanted to be seen and noticed by the people that own the company. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
matter how much I tried to, show them that they are valued, but they show their value in a different way. And all that. At the end of the day, they wanted that hands-on those people. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's a long quote, but makes a lot of sense. I agree with it.
Yeah, I mean, cause for me, I think it goes back to even simple things, man. It goes back to it don't cost to speak.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Somebody just text me and say, "Can you be still?" No, no, it don't. It don't. It don't.
It don't.
It don't
It don't.
cost nothing to be polite. It don't
Yeah,
cost nothing. Just to speak to some people, and a lot of times people know your title, and they know you don't have time to have long, drawn out conversation. But
yeah,
just the point that you thought about them, sometimes makes people feel a whole lot better than you ever would imagine,
yeah, yeah.
especially from leadership perspectives. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, because when you're a leader that's reachable, you know what I mean? Being reachable is almost hand in hand with being approachable. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Right.
people that are not reachable, they might be approachable, but you don't know that because they're not reachable. You know what I'm saying? So
That
yeah,
goes back to the thing that we used to always talk about is to, I think this is something that we just done is at the whim is always make sure we preach, but we actually executed open door policy.
yeah, yeah,
Doors are always open unless we was in a private meeting. The doors always open.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's a
And,
good one.
and
You want me to go with it? You about to say something?
nah, I often say again, man, like go and again, we talked about this on one of the previous um calls or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, videos that we had, was that, man, how else do you know your personnel if you don't get to know your personnel? And that's critical, man. Knowing people, knowing what move them, knowing what motivate them, and all that good stuff. But you don't know that till you talk to them. Only thing you know is what you read about them or heard about them, and a lot of stuff that you read in here is not accurate.
It's not accurate. Hey
Yeah,
man, you still got that book, The Noticer?
I do.
I need to get that.
I got you. I'm gonna send you another one. They got another one, to notice for returns as well. But yeah, I got
I just need that one. If anybody read, hey, I ain't trying to pull nobody book, but I'm just gonna give some tools to help people out as we talk about things to help leaders. And one, and I'm about to go with one about communication here in a minute. The noticer is one that I think a lot of
you. Oh
people that
yeah,
is leading organizations, and also a lot of time, why I think it's a good book. A lot of subordinates or employees, I think they should learn about how to be a leader, and not only that, but understand communication. Because
yeah.
one thing that I learned from that book is no matter how much you think that you are actually effectively communicating to somebody, you're really not communicating in their language if you don't know their language.
If you don't know their language,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So that
yeah.
was a good book, Mr. Brett. And then my ultimate favorite is Good to Great.
You
Good to
said,
Great by Jay Collins. Good to
say
Great.
say it again.
Good to Great.
Okay, I think I heard that.
Yeah, that's a good book because one of my favorite sayings I like to use with people and especially young folks to really let them know, hey man, this is a dog eat dog world. And
Yeah,
sometimes, being average is not good enough. A lot of people don't want to hear that.
right,
But
right,
when you
right,
read that book, Good to Great, it gives you the mindset, good ain't never done nothing great.
right. That makes
This
sense.
ain't.
That
All
makes
right.
sense.
You ready for another one?
Yeah, come with another one.
All right, here we go.
I'm nervous.
This one is one of my favorite ones dealing with communication by George Bernard Shaw. Okay.
Okay,
The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place.
Okay. Okay. I never heard that one. I never heard it.
Yeah, yeah. I can't tell you everything back in the day.
You was holding all the quotes, man. I ain't never heard that one. I ain't never heard that.
You know, we're gonna keep it rated PG. You know, the quotes I used to throw out, we would close meetings.
Yeah, yeah. Let's keep focused. Let's keep focused.
The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place.
Now, what I take from that, what I picked up from that, and this happens all the time, quite often, where you can have a conversation with somebody and you feel that y'all had a conversation and that other person, again, going back to the languages, didn't hear
Right.
what you were saying, or you or vice versa, you didn't hear what they were saying, and the first thing that somebody say is, "Man, I talked to him. I talked to
I
him,
talk to them.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, and that's why I like that. Because a lot of time, a lot of people think it's not needed, but offering people the opportunity to rephrase what they heard.
yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Because I can tell you, hey man, I need you to go make sure these doors stay closed.
yeah,
You know, especially in the facility we used to work. Well, they go back and well, I thought you were talking about the main doors.
yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah,
know you were talking about the doors for where
yeah,
the kids was. You know, you got sometimes you got to explain. Hey, can you tell me what you thought I said?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of people think that's just slang and I say it a lot too, man. You see what I'm saying? And when I finish saying something, you see what I'm saying? Like that's just not just the end in a sentence. Like really want somebody to be able to, confirm that they actually heard what you said because
Tell
yeah,
me what you
people
heard.
yeah, you can have a
Yeah.
whole conversation and people walk away, man, with totally different understandings and you be like, man, we talked. Like I'm lost, we talked. And they like, nah, that ain't that ain't the conversation I had. That ain't the conversation I had.
That's like me telling them, you know, really like, okay, I'm with you, I hear you. And you know what I say? What you said?
Right. Come
What
on,
you said?
man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
All right, you got one for me,
I,
man?
yeah, yeah. I got a real simple one. A real simple one. And this one is gonna be interesting, man, to me, because it's something that I used to say a lot of time, but then after a while, I don't know if you remember when I used to hear people say it, I used to cut them off all the time. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I say
Yep.
it.
I know. And I remember a lot of times I used to have to cut you off and be like, no, because initially, you know what I mean, I get it, and we used to say it again as a slang, boom, boom, it is what it is. But then after a while, and I'm using it in the workplace, like not in my opinion, you know what I mean, I stop people from saying it because I'm like, nah, when you saying it is what it is, you're accepting things as if they can't change. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I even though I do think people just say it as a slang, just a boom boom, but like sometimes we say words have power. You know what I mean? And if
Well,
you keep saying it is what it is, you speaking that I have no control of changing a situation.
well, I think that's a good analogy, but I'm about to put a twist on it.
Of course you are.
Of course I am, because that's not when I said it. That's not that was my perspective.
I'm listening though, and
But
I'm agree.
my
I'm,
perspective at that time wasn't that it couldn't change. It was there was a directive that was given at that moment in time, and it is what it is.
and
But
again,
we can go back and change. I mean, we can make changes. We can come back to the table and discuss it. But when I say like when I was given a directive and I knew there was nothing I can do about it, be like, hey, well, now this can't, this is what we need to do. Blah blah blah. It's rolling downhill. Okay, at that moment in time, it's not that we can change.
I
You have to
disagree.
implement.
I disagree, big dog. Listen, that's what, and I think again, now you the same person. We just said that you can have a conversation, and the illusion was that we conversated, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So just say you giving a directive, or you or you communicate something that was communicated to you. You pass something down, and the person you talking to is looking like you could tell that they don't like what they heard, blah blah blah, and
right,
you're
right.
like, hey, this is what we got to do. It is what it is. That person probably had a solution, an alternative, or a question that could have sparked something on your end. But they said it is what it is. And so, like going back to what you just said about the illusion, that person might come to me later, and I'll be like, "Hey, why you just didn't propose that?" You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. Then I'm like, "Well, I had a whole conversation with them. They said, but did you really have a conversation with them if you told them it is what it is?"
Well, once again, I think you're taking it out of context. I mean, answer your phone, man. Fix your phone. Somebody calling you.
It ain't ringing. What is it doing?
Oh, I couldn't hear nothing you were saying.
Yeah, it's not ringing. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Now, okay, so we ain't gonna beat a dead horse, but this is one of the things that you got two different perspectives,
Yeah.
and two things can be right at the same time, though.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
you
Yeah,
got another one?
but that's why I started off that like it's a very simple quote that at one point I used to say it a lot. You know what I mean? Actually, on some in my other life had a song called "It Is What It Is." You know, and at that point in time it made sense.
But
But
bust some verses for us.
man, come on, man. See, that's why I didn't even want to say that. I
Come on,
said
man. Bust some
I,
verses, man.
that was another life. It is what it is. You know. But again, that made sense in that world and that life. You know what I'm saying? But like going back to an operational world or when you got to make decisions, all that. I just feel like man, it is what it is. Puts a period or end game to something that it ain't. And no, I'm not accepting it. It ain't.
I mean, from
It
that
ain't.
perspective, I totally agree with that. You know what I'm saying?
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all,
That you got to be right.
there you go. It is what it is. What it is. It is what it is. I got one. I got one for you that I hear used frequently, and I honestly it comes up in the work world a lot.
Okay.
You say it all the time. The grass ain't always green on the other side. I threw that to
Okay.
you.
Well, I mean that's one of the phrases, man, that can be used not only in the workplace, but it's usually applied to life lessons at the house for people individually. It's a lesson where people is doing one thing because they're not getting what they want here. And I'm gonna take that to a whole other perspective from a church. And it's just one of the things that I would hear people say or have heard people say. I wasn't getting nothing at that church. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And sometimes it can frustrate a minister or a pastor at that church because they know for a fact that they teach it and they give it and they laying down the law. Well, I have learned that with that phrase, I think that phrase is everything because sometimes it's not about you.
yeah,
People, you and I always talk about, well, we can say something over and over and over, but somebody else can come in straight out the street and say it, and it sounds like the best idea ever.
yeah, yeah,
And my thing is, even from the workplace, from a communication perspective, from a personal perspective, I'm the type of person, I don't care how you get it, just get it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I can't take that personal. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that's how I've always looked at it from my perspective. Go ahead.
What was since you mentioned that though? I know we still on the quotes, but I want to dive into that a little bit though. Why do you think that's the case too though? Because I'm also big on that too, man. Listen, when if we getting achieving the outcome and somebody can say the same thing that I've been saying 100 times, and you won't listen to me, but you listen to that person, as long as we're achieving the outcome for the greater good, I'm good with it though. But what is that about though?
From what
Like
perspective are you talking about?
how why do people tend to like not be able to receive something from one person, but then this other person can say the same thing or similar and get through that person.
Well, a lot of time it's all about presentation,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
plain and simple. You know what I'm
Re-
saying?
what about relatability?
I mean that too.
Yeah,
But that's what makes the presentation. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like I'm gonna give a perfect example. me and my craftiness, you know what I'm saying? Uh, and I mean, just how we used to deal with the kids in the detention center.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I'm one of the most suave, down to earth type dudes. But when I got to listen to some of that music, I was like, yeah,
It's
I
over.
couldn't get with it. I really, because I didn't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you always took the step to try uh to make them feel comfortable, and you made sure that they could relate to you a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah.
But you had that opportunity to give them that perspective from the actual facility administrator. But a lot of facility administrators wouldn't even take that time to do that with them.
That
And
makes sense.
when you did your thing, it offered me a different perspective to go and deal with them on my perspective. And then when I would tell them we're about to listen to some everlasting bass, and they were like, "What?" But I'm gonna listen to my music anyway. But hey, somebody made a comment. Let me tell you something. We're talking about the different side.
Okay.
Somebody said, even if it is greener, it might be the turf on the other side. Fake better, never. You got to know the background.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's a different respect, personally.
They gotta
Yeah,
put
I
their
like
name.
that.
You got
Thank you, Austin.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta get them props for that quote. I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, good one, Austin. All right, you got another one you want me to roll?
Yeah, you gonna throw one.
All right.
You thinking too deep.
No, my system done shut down. Hold on.
I got one then while you searching. You ready?
Go ahead.
All right. A leader takes people where they want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but ought to be.
Okay. First of all, repeat that again because I want to make sure I heard that.
A leader takes people to where they want to go. A great leader takes people to where they not necessarily want to go, but where they ought to be.
So how I got that is, and I'm gonna come back with a perfect example. My perspective is leaders want to take people, employees, where they think that employee should be.
Yeah.
A great employee takes that employee where that employee feel they should be. And go ahead.
I heard the opposite, but go ahead.
Okay. But let me tell you why I
Okay.
heard it that way.
Yeah.
I learned from being working in hospitals and behavior health. I learned, when you're in different places, you learn different perspectives. And so it was called, and I think I learned about this about 4 or 5 years ago, uh, talking to this nurse and dealing with this patient. Um, we all know the golden rule. The golden rule is treat people the way you treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this nurse, she had this, and it deal with bedside manner. And her theory was, no, I have the platinum rule. I said, what's the platinum rule? And you see, I was just thinking, a dance or something like that. But anyway, I know a couple of platinums back in the day. But anyway, um, he's so silly.
That's you,
Um,
bro.
but anyway, it was dealing with you treat people the way they want to be treated. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I was like, well, explain that a little bit more. She said, well, when you look at when you look at people that's in the hospitals and stuff like that, it's all about making them comfortable and following what is it that they want to do for their treatment. And even if you know that a person might need this treatment that can help them, this person might crash and they got a do not resuscitate policy or they sign the paper. There's nothing you can do. So it's not about how you as that doctor and that nurse feel the treatment that they need. You don't
Yeah.
address that with them, but now they telling you how they want to be treated from here on out. So that's how I made me looking at that from a different perspective. The platinum rule.
that makes sense. But I think the way that I interpreted it was saying that a leader takes you to where you want to be, right? You know what I'm saying? That's one, boom. But then it said a great leader takes you to where you necessarily might not want to be, but where you ought to be. And from what I'm hearing is that it's saying that a great leader sees things inside of you that you don't see inside of yourself. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I agree with that 100%.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep. So yeah, you could be a good leader all day long. I know we always talk about um sports, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But so a good leader, if you know you come on the team and say that you want to be the best cornerback there is in in college football, whatever, a good leader is gonna do everything in his power to make you that great cornerback. But a great leader may see other potential in you that you don't even see in yourself. You know what I mean? Because you that ain't necessarily where you want to go, but you don't really realize that's where you supposed to be at for real.
Where
And
you
and I
supposed
and
to
I
be
and I can speak on it. Well, I'm telling you, I can attest to that in my career. uh, Early in my career, I did not see myself doing what I'm doing right now. Other people saw that and they spoke that on me. And I'm at that time, I'm looking at them like, man, y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about. I'm trying. I'm trying. You talking about platinum? I'm trying to go platinum. Trying to, trying to sell some albums, man. But a great leaders saw things in me, and they saw where I ought to be, not where I wanted to be. That's what I take from that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So this one here was a picture, and with the picture is a guy sitting on the bridge, and he's fishing
Okay.
to the left, and he's not getting no bites. But behind him to the right, it's a whole school of fish. And the purpose of the statement was every time being patient may not be the best answer.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. I
Yeah.
can see that. I can see that. So he was okay. Basically, I got you. I got you. I can
Because
see that.
when it comes to fishing is about being patient. Don't rush
I don't, yeah, I don't fish, but hey, that's what took me a little minute to process. I'm like, yeah, when I go to Captain D's, I get whatever I want when I go to Captain D's, but yeah, you know what
Oh
I'm saying. So,
Lord Jesus. I keep forgetting who I'm dealing with, but I'm with you. I'm with you, Captain D.
and I ain't been to Captain D's in a month of Sundays.
That's all good.
I
I'm
that
sure I'm sure it still tastes the same.
horrible.
What I'm talking about no Captain D's like that.
I already know, man. I already know.
Okay, you got one for me? While I
I,
get this going.
I the mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates.
Okay, hold on.
Smoking hookah, ain't it? Getting ready for the week, ain't it? Whole lot of game.
Give to me one more time.
The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates.
Yeah, I consider myself a superior teacher, and I
Okay,
call it
okay.
transformational leadership and servant leadership.
Yep,
And
yep,
I believe in showing people
yep,
what I expect of them. Because I'm a hands-on guy,
yep,
and if you show me one time, I got it, and then I'm gonna take it and take ownership in it
yep,
and take it to the next level.
yep. So and we always try to make sure that we bring these conversations back to work and how it applies to
Right,
leadership. And that made me think about training. And most because I always been in the same feel. Now I have done some other things too, though, but they still had similar types of trainings. But you always put somebody in a training class, whether it's a 1 week training class, a 2 week training class, and
right,
you teach them all this stuff. What I mean, going back to what they said, you teach them, you explain to them, and blah blah blah. But there's really no demonstration for real. Then when you put them out there where they're supposed to be doing, and they don't succeed. First thing you say, man, they had 2 weeks of training. You know what I'm saying? How many times did we hear that? Man, and going back to the conversation piece, you said earlier that the illusion of a conversation is that I don't remember the exact words, but the illusion is thinking that
that communication was had,
that was had.
that it actually happened.
What that is this to me, this is one of the perfect examples of that. When the staff are not successful, the company or the person training is saying, "We trained them for 2 weeks," and what's the first thing that they say? I was not.
I didn't hear that.
I
I
was
don't remember
not.
that.
I was not trained. They
Yeah.
did not train me on that. So
And then they go
who?
back, but you signed this. Well, I signed it because I needed this check.
Or they be like, I name my signature up anyway, but and what you say earlier, two things can be true. But but honestly, going back to that too though, two things can be true with that too. You know, yeah, did they train them? Yeah. But when they say I wasn't trained on that, sometimes they they didn't grasp it. Like you taught me, you explained it to me, but you didn't demonstrate. Yeah, we was in a classroom when you was telling me how I need to respond to this and respond to that. Nobody actually demonstrated it for me. So
That's why my teaching style, and it's not about leadership right now. It's my teaching style. Like when I teach at the university level, my thing is application.
let me know where it is so I make sure my son don't go. But go ahead.
Stop
Wow.
it. No, but my thing is application. And you got to make it applicable for people. And then that's why you ask, hey, give me an example in your workplace, especially if they come into school. A lot of times it's for further advancement for not only for their job, but it's for them. Well, now that we're on the theory, how do you make this applicable? And that's why it's very important to be prepared before you come to class. Because if you prepare before you come to class, then you can help make things more applicable and you already up on what might be going on. But once, my class learned my teaching style, it was all about, we're going to go through all these leadership theories and concepts and models, but I'm not just going to sit and talk to you all day. I want you to tell me
Yeah.
how you make this applicable.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
does this apply to you and your job?
Yeah.
I'm going to give examples from my past, the good, the bad, the ugly, but how do you make it applicable? And I
Yeah.
find that, to me, that's like another form of hands-on. And a lot of times people can get it because they're using it for themselves and even from individual or group concepts.
Yeah. You just man had a thought in my head too. Put a thought in my head that we're gonna have to get Jared Prentice back on. But man, that's one of the things I love about his training style. Like for real, he's so patient, but he also make it make it applicable. You have no choice but to pay attention when he's in
Yeah,
training because he's not gonna now he can talk, but he's not gonna talk
yeah,
to you.
he
He's
can't
gonna
talk.
make you talk. Like look, Jared concept. I got paid. Like I'm finna make you ain't gonna have no choice but to interact. All my trainings are interactive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But that's how you know if
but
people can make it
but
applicable to them.
I had this student in one of my master classes I was teaching one day. And he was one of the guys, man. He was so determined that he was going to prove that he was smarter than the teacher.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. And
And,
I and hey, and you know that's a trigger for you. But go ahead. That's a trigger for you. So
stop it,
I can only
stop it,
imagine. But go ahead.
stop it. So I stop, Brett. You
Am
gotta
I,
stop
but
that.
am I telling the truth though? Like
No,
you
that's not
like
no trigger for
okay,
me.
game on,
No,
game
that,
on. Come
no,
on.
I did say game on,
That's what I
but
meant. That's what
but
I meant.
but the thing is, I'm gonna do it from an educational perspective.
Right,
And,
right.
and so then I said, hey, since you got this concept down, explain this one for me and how you make that applicable. And he was like, well, huh? He was like, but that's not in the book. I'm like, no, it is in the book. It's the next one over. I said, because these leadership styles go together or they conflict. So the thing is, it seemed like you got so gung ho on this one, like you was ready, you was guns blazing. But you should know that everything should always be a pro and a con. You should always read the other one so you can gain a better understanding of the person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then so he was like, well, I didn't do that. I said, well, so can I teach the class now?
can I can I teach? There you go.
Can I teach? Yeah, 'cause I wanted to use the old one that I used to hear back in the day. Uh, I got mine, you get yours.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And then when it comes to men, when they start getting aggressive, shoot, that could have been a fight in the classroom.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You ain't no fighter. You ain't no fighter, but you should you should have just hit him with a quote. Didn't nobody come to see you, Otis. That's what you should have told him.
Yeah, I got one for you.
Go ahead.
Did you just go ahead? Ain't nobody looking at you.
Cut it
All right,
out,
here
man.
we go. Here we go. Uh, don't confuse my personality with my attitude. My personality is who I am. My attitude depends on who you are.
Mm, okay. Man, you intentionally find stuff I ain't never heard, but that's I like that. I like that.
But
I
this is
like that.
stuff that I live by, man.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. And I'm telling you why I like that is because that happens so often. Man,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could get paid for how many times this has happened where I try to I try to make two people work together or pair people up or try to say, hey man, this person can benefit from this whatever, and the person that I'm trying to get to work with this person, first thing they say is that I don't like her attitude. I don't like her. Boom, 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 boom. And man, but what's so funny was they be so that far off. But when I say that far off, maybe I'm exaggerating when I say that far off because what they basing it off of maybe not be far off, but they basing off what they done heard somebody else say. They basing off where this person made. And I know we joke and laugh, but they might say, "Man, every time I see her, she roll eyes." But then when you talk to her, you might find out that damn, she got damn Tourette's or something. You know what I'm saying? But seriously, like, and I have seen that time and time again where people do misconstrue personality versus attitude, and sometimes again, like you said, when you saw me, you saw attitude, but you don't know where the attitude came from. That attitude probably came from the environment. You don't know what transpired before I walked through the door before you saw me. You don't know what kind of phone call I just got off of. You don't know, what I mean? Again, going back to what you said, I like to connect the dots when you talk about being reachable. Hell, you don't even know if that person might feel like you're not reachable, therefore you're not approachable. So shit, that's why I roll my eyes every time you come around. You know what I'm saying? So and then when they actually get to intertwine or mingle with that person, they're like, man, I like her. She ain't even that bad. I've been trying to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? But
Right, right.
again, you was mixing up personality versus attitude. So nah, I like that.
Well, I like that one because I'm not a person to smile all the time, and when it's business, I'm about my
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But because I'm like that, people feel I'm mean and I'm not approachable.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But when they get to know me, or even in the workplace, they be like, "Man, I thought you was an ass.
yeah,
Man, I
yeah,
thought you was
yeah,
mean as hell. Man, you
yeah,
pretty cool." I
yeah,
said, "Man, my thing is at the end of the day, we are here to do a job
yeah,
first and foremost. While we here, I'm all about having fun and enjoying the workplace environment. But let's make sure we doing this in a structural manner now. You know what I'm saying? Now we're not gonna be up in here wilding out better than the juveniles are.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It comes with a time. There's a time for all that foolishness, and
Yeah,
the carrying on and having a good time. There's a time for it. He can't be your whole 8, 12 hour shift now. Come on now.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
right, right. Yeah, yeah,
So it and I look at it, it's one of the things that uh it's okay because we all gonna be misunderstood in our lives. But it's just one of them things that I think people got to take, and this is the most important thing that I see what goes on in the workplace, relationships, and a lot of things. Take the personal out of it. Take the emotions
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
it, and look at it from a realistic, focus, a lens, and then see what it is that you have. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because if we always go back, man, I don't like that person. Why are we doing this at 25, 35, 45 years old? That was kindergarten and preschool and up to high school. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, man. We got some older folks in the workplace now. They they
Listen,
they 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 more of a millennial than the extreme millennials.
and you saw me. I put my head down for several reasons. One, man, because I will tell you 80% of the things I have to deal with is usually like adults that can't get along because of some simple high school type behaviors. It really is for it. And I'm glad you said that too. I tell people that at one point people used to try to put an age on it, a race on it, whether it's a male or female. Now it's male, female, young, old. It doesn't matter. Like it,
Right.
a millennial, all these new things that they create. It don't matter. Like it's just like when you don't have, I don't know if it's structure or keeping people busy. People bring outside stuff into the workplace, and when you realize, like most of the mediations that I have ever had to get involved with had nothing to do with the clients that we deal with. It was always about adults that don't mesh for whatever reason because somebody
Yeah.
said something they don't like, or they heard somebody say something and they just don't. Yeah, they don't mesh. Yep,
I always take your thing personal, man. All
yep.
right, Mr. Bratcher, I'm about to put this in your lap, man. Leave the audience with something.
Lead the audience with something. Hmm. Man, you gotta give me a heads up before you do that, man. Lead the
Okay,
audience.
I'm giving you a heads up. All right, Mr. Bratcher, leave the audience with something.
Ah, lead the audience with something. Only thing man, I think going back to what we started off saying, man, is really taking time to listen. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, man, we can think that we hear somebody, but we really ain't listening for real. You know what I'm saying? So I just,
Absolutely.
lead the audience and challenge people with, man, take the time to listen to what people are actually saying. You can't have a conversation if you really ain't listening to what the other person is saying. And I'm telling you, Woods, and the audience, man, that I know we talk a lot about the work world, but that applies to your work world, to your personal world, to what you do with your kids, all that. Like, listen, man, like and I'm learning that right now. I got two small kids, man. Like I
Right.
I listen to, I grew up, nobody, they won't listen to no damn kids. You didn't have no voice, you didn't have no opinion. And it's different. It's different, like because the way I raised my kids totally different than the way that I was raised. But at the end of the day, man, like listening to my kids, listening to the kids that I serve, listening to the staff that work for me, that ultimately I feel like I work for them. Like I'm that much better because I listen. You know what I mean? I can't help fix, remove barriers, teach. I can't do nothing if I actually don't listen to the people that I'm trying to reach. So it can't be reachable if you don't listen.
Transformational leadership and servant leadership I think, is two of the ideal leaderships that I think people should use at least as their first level of leadership, because that is about one, show me. Transformational leadership is show me what you want me to do, and I do it.
Yeah,
And then behind that, you encourage them to take ownership of it. And like the raw thing, man. People want to feel respected. People want to feel acceptance and approval, and
yeah,
then people want to feel worthy. And you take ownership, and I guarantee you, if you take ownership and you're making a difference at the job, you're gonna feel worthy that
yeah,
the job is worth your time. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
That's that raw.
That raw. And with that was one of the quotes I was looking at, man. A person who feels appreciated will always do more than what's expected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look at them 100 hours I used to do a week. And I was
I
but
made sure you was appreciated. I'm
but
trying to
but
tell
but
you.
this is why I tell people, man. Um, I was talking to somebody on the show, I think it was Sunday, and I always use Bible quotes to lead my life, and I don't let people tell me, well, you took that out of context and all that. No, this is my life. It's not taken out of context. And so one of the ones that I like, but a lot of people use for funerals is I have fought a good fight. I have ran my course.
Mm-hmm.
I look at that from the perspective of, hey, man, I've been in this thing with juveniles, corrections, from residential to group home, to hardware facilities and all that type stuff. And when I was in it, Bratcher, I was in it.
You was in it. You was in it.
You know what I'm saying? I was in it.
I
And
stamped
and
that.
it's all about preparing yourself. But on the flip side, it was talking about in that text, it's time for me to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to depart. And I always like to encourage people. It's idealistic. It don't happen. Even like football players, look at Rodgers. Ideal, you want to be able to go out on top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, he ain't
But
about to
he
go out
not.
on top. See, really, he's Super Bowl champion. They really look like, man, you can go.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
Sunday's over last week, hey man, we appreciate it, but don't you
Yeah.
come back here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the type person, man, leave on top to where people always want to invite you back. Compared when they get you out their door, they don't want you to come back to their door because they feel like you overstayed your welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, what wasn't that you got fired? It wasn't nothing that you done. It's sad. It's just one of them things. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's sad. So, but it is what it is. You got anything you want to ask me before we
It,
shut it down?
it ain't what it is. Stop it.
It
Go
is.
ahead. Go ahead.
You
Nah,
have
listen.
anything you want to ask me before we shut this thing down, man?
Nah, man. Nah, I always appreciate the camaraderie and the conversation, man. But nah, I ain't got nothing.
That's what's up. Well, audience, we about to shut this thing down. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. January 9th, 1914, we're going to represent this thing tomorrow. 111 years, 111 years in this thing. So I want to give a shout out to all the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to the Almighty Ass Kicking Alpha Road chapter. Austin Peay State University. You know. And then give a shout out to Lambda Alpha Sigma chapter in Clarksville, Tennessee. That's our time, you all. Thank you for joining. And remember, small victories lead to greater success. I am Dr. Woods, and you have just been hit by the raw approach. Peace.